Hey, hi all. So just now I'm going to explain about SCD type 2. So what is SCD slowly changing dimension type 2 and how do we implement SCD type 2 mapping in the Informatica IICS Intelligence Cloud Services. So before going to implement the mapping, just I'm going to explain you about how to do the SCD type 2. So in the SCD type 2, so we can do in the three approaches. One is effective end date approach and the flag approach and then the version approach. So in the in this now we are going to discuss about effective end date approach. So for example, this is the source table. So it is the employee source table. So in this employee source table, so I have the employee name, employee number, and then address. And this is my target table. That is so where I need to maintain SCD type 2. So all of you know about what is SCD type 2 means. It is used to maintain the historical information in the dimension table. So that we can say it as a slowly changing dimension type 2. So whenever we need to implement type 2 means we have to maintain the historical information in the dimension table, or else we can say it as a target table. Okay, so this is my source table. So I have like, so whenever we are going to implement type 2 mapping, so we have to maintain extra three columns apart from the source columns. So that is the dky, so that is called dimension key. And then we have to maintain the effective start date and then effective end date apart from the source column. So we have to maintain extra three odd bits. One is dky, effective start date, and then effective end date. So here in the source table, I have like so employee name is Rajshekhar, 100 Bangalore, and then second record I have the Sham 200 Chennai. Always for the dimension key, we have to populate the some sequence values to identify each and every record uniquely in the uh, dimension table. So we need this dimension key. So for this dimension key, while creating a table, so you have to give the primary key. So this should be a primary key column. And here this effective start date, we have to populate the system date, and for this effective end date you have to populate the system date. Okay, so for the first time, whenever we don't have any record in the target table, we have to insert this record with the dimension key as a one, and employee name is Rajshekhar, and employee number is 100, and address is Hyderabad, Bangalore, whatever in the source table. And effective start date is, as I told, effective start date we have to populate the system date. Suppose the system is 0506 and then 2022, and effective end date is we have to populate the future date, that is the 31/12/49. So why? Because we don't know up to when Rashekar is going to be working in this Bangalore location. So I don't know right. So for this we have to populate the future date as 31/12 and then 49. And as of so next record Sham 200 Chennai, even this record is not exist in the dimension table, that is in the target table. So even we have to insert this record into the target table. So a dimension key as a 2, and then Sham, and then 200, and address is Chennai. Effective start date is same system date, and then effective end date is also future date. Why? Because as of now he is working in the this Chennai location. So after few days, Rajshekhar got transferred from Bangalore to some Hyderabad. So at that time, so SCD type 2 means, as I told, we have to maintain the historical information. So at that time, even we have to maintain the old information with Bangalore and as well as the new information. So which is Rajshekhar got transferred to Hyderabad. So now I need to insert the new record as well into the target table. So at that time, so that dimension key should be populated with three. And name is Rajshekhar, and then address is 100, and then address. What is the address? New address is the Hyderabad, and effective start date might be got transferred on the 10th of June 06 and then 2022. And effective date is also with the future date. Why? Because we don't know up to when he's going to, up to which time he's going to be working in the Hyderabad location. So, but we have to inactivate the previous active record means, so Rajshekhar, he is no more working in the Bangalore location. So he is now working in the Hyderabad. So what we have to, update the effective end date with the system date. So we have to update this 10/06 with this effective end date. So by making like this, what we can came to know that yes, Rashakar is worked in the Bangalore location from 5th to 10th. Now the Rashakar is working in Hyderabad location. So how I can say he's working in Hyderabad location means based upon this effective end date. So like this, we have to maintain the historical information in the SCD type 2 mapping. So then we can go to the how to implement in the IICS. So this is my database. This is my source table emp underscore src. Here I have the name, number, and then address. And I have created the target table. My target table name is emp scd2 underscore target. So in the target table, I have taken the DKY name, number, address, effective start date, and then effective end date. As I told, so whenever we are going to implement SCD type 2 effective end date, apart from the source columns, we have to maintain extra 3 columns, that is DKY, effective start date, and then effective end date. So let me go to the IICS, and so here I have opened my project folder in the orange. Just go to the new. I'm going to create a mapping, new, select the mappings and create, give the mapping name m underscore emp underscore scd type 2 scd type 2. So I'm implementing scd type 2 mapping for employee table, and then I have taken the source table. So where we have to give the source table. So go to here and then source. Here we have to give the source connection. So my source connection is source DB Oracle, so which I have created earlier, and we have to select the source table name. A source name is emp underscore src. Yeah, this is my source table. Selecting this source table. Okay. And then we have to take another source table. So we have to take even the target table as a source. So why? Because so to check the record exists or not in the target table, so we need to use it. And then take it here and renaming this one as a source as a target table. And then so I'm going to select, so even my source table, even my target table is in the same database in the same schema. So just I'm selecting my target table name emp underscore scd sc2 underscore target. So and also we have to give the filter condition to fetch only active records. Click on this filter, and so here you have to select the advanced, and then we have to select the effective end date. And then so here you have to give the 2 underscore date of, we have to fetch only active records. So at that time we have to give the 1231 and then 4 nines, and then the format we have to give like it's an, we have to give the whatever the format we are giving, like 31. I'm giving this as 31, and then 12, and then this should be the dd mm, and then yy format, and then click OK. And after then, so we need to join source and target table. So we need a joiner transformation. So here joiner transformation, and then drag and drop to here. And then so we have to give the condition, double click joiner transformation, and then so here go to the fields. So it will get a resolving, we have to resolve the name conflict. Why? Because source and target names, source columns and target table name columns are same. So at that time we have to give the prefix name. So I'm giving the prefix name as a like target columns as a tzt underscore. and then we have to give the, we have to select the it as a detail outer join. So whenever we select the detail outer join, it will give matching records and non-matching records from the master table, so that we can check the record exists or not in the target table. And then we have to give the join condition. So the join condition is based upon the so here my business key is the employee number. So to identify each and every record in the source table, we have to use the employee number. And then so here we have to compare with the target employee number. And then we need the source, we need the expression transformation. So why? Because we have the two extra attributes, which is effective start date and then effective end date. So we have to populate that one. So open expression transformation, go to the expression tab, create two ports. So one is for effective start date, effective start date, effective start date, and this should be a data type is a date and time. And then click on this OK. And then we have to configure. So we have to give as a sysdate. Sysdate, click on this validate. Yes, it's a valid. And then next we have to give the, we have to add one more for the effective end date. Rename the field name effective end date. And then data type should be able to select the date and time. And then we have to click on this OK. And then configure, we have to give the 2_date. 2_date of, we have to populate future date as I told. So this should be like 31/12 and then 4 nines. And we have to give the format like it's an DD, and then YY. And then click on this validate. Yes, it's a valid. And after then we need an router transformation. So based upon the values when we can go for insert, when we can go for type to update. So we need an router transformation. So here we have the router, select the router. And then in the router, we have to create two groups. One is for insert and one is for type to update and type to insert. So one and then two. And just rename your group as per standards. So here we are, I'm renaming as for insert. And then so when I want to insert means, so we have to select as advanced and then define a condition, filter condition whenever is null of dimension key. So at that time, whenever the target dimension key, so at the time I want to go to the insert the record, click on this validate and then OK. And when I want to do for type to insert and as well as type to update means, so whenever the not is null of type to insert and as well as the update. So that is for new, above group is for new insert, this for type to insert. And we have to select the advanced and then define filter condition. And then we have to give the not is null of target dimension key. So whenever it should not be not null, and source columns is not equal to target columns. So as of now, I have taken only address to understand simply. So and address is not equal to, source address is not equal to target address. Target address and then validate it. Yes, to address, and we have to give the target address and validate it. Yes, it's invalid. And then go to here and OK. And then we need the 3 target instances. So just copy paste here, Control C and then Control V. And then 3 instances. One is for type to update, one is for new insert, one is for type to insert. So we need to rename and we have to distribute it, the data. And here, go to here and then so renaming. I'm reading this target is for insert. And then so when I want to insert from the first group, so from first group we have to give the insert. And the second here, so we have to give the target to, it is for type to insert. type to insert. And then, so when I have to, from this group, I have to give the type to insert. And when I want to do the type test, so third target instance for type to update, target, and then type to update, type to update. And then mark from the same group to here. And then, so for dimension key, as I told, we need to populate the sequence number. So to populate the sequence number, we need the sequence general transformation. Just drag and drop from the list of the transformation. So we need the sequence general transformation. So this sequence general transformation, I want to populate to the two target tables. I want to populate for two target tables. So one is here, and from the same target, from the same sequence enter, I want to populate for as well for the type to insert. So go to here and open the target instance. So, and as well as we need to disable the incoming ports in the sequence and transformation, maximize it, and then go to advanced, go to generate fields, disable incoming fields, and then, so we need to map it to it, target instant, and as well as from the target type to insert. So like we cannot do this disabling the incoming fields in the Informatica Power Center, but so whenever in the IICS, whenever if you not populate the data from the sequence transformation, so you have to disable it, and then we have to map to the target fields. Go to here, and then target field, we have to go to the, we have to go, so we have to give the connection. So it is also in the same database. So we have to select this target table name, SCD2 emp underscore SCD2 target table, and we have to go to the field mapping, and we have to map it. So either we can select manually, either we can go for the smart map. So this should not be target dimension key. So we have to unmap it. So it should be populated from the next value, unmap it. So name to name, number to number, address, and this should be also the effective start date. So unmap it, effective start date, and then effective end date. So dimension key we have to populate from the next value, and then go to the next type to insert. So another, as well as we have to select insert option. So here go to the targets. So we are not only doing the insert, we are not enabling anything. Okay, and type to insert. So here the type to insert. So here we have to give the, go to the target, and we have to give the target connection. So it is also in the same database, in the same schema, emp underscore SCD2. So we have to select this one. Yes. And then field mapping, and then exact field name, and effective start date we have to map with here, and always next value, populate the sequence value from the next value column to the dimension key. And then for the third target instance, so the same way. So but we need to go for the type to update, right? So for this type to update, we have to select some properties in the advanced tab, emp underscore SCD. So we have to select the same targets, and then click on this advanced. We have to select the operation as a update, and then we have to give the update columns. So I give the primary key for the dimension key. So I'm going to take as a dimension key, and then go to the field mapping. So I need to update the target dimension key to this dimension key. And so why? Because dimension key is a primary key. So we have to give the target dimension key, and so which we need to update. So I need to update the effective start with the effective end date. So that's it. So we have to map effective started with the end date and then save the mapping. Yes, the mapping is valid. So next we need to we need to create the mapping task. So like a session task in the Informatica Power Center, click on here, create, and then mapping task name, MT underscore, and then M underscore SCD, M underscore EMP underscore SCD type 2. And then we have to select the runtime environment. This is the runtime environment, and then mapping name. So it will show the mapping name whichever we have created, list of the mapping. So I'm selecting the mapping which I need to execute with this mapping task, and then click on the next. Sequence values, current value and initial value is a 1. So I'm not enabling any scheduling options as of now here. So I'm not enabling any advanced options like parameter file. So this and all we can see how to use these properties in the next video, and click on this finish. Okay, so next I'm now running this mapping task. So go to my jobs where we can see the status like a Power Center monitor, whether our job is success or failed. So here we need to refresh it for every 10 seconds to see the status. It is in the queue status. Now our mapping task is running, which is reading the source and target. Yes, 4 records got loaded. So here we can be able to check it, how many records are reading from the source and how many records got loaded into the target table. So 4 records are reading from source and 4 records got loaded into target table. So let me check my target table. Yes. So if you see, all the 4 records got loaded. So dimension key is populating 1, name as Rajshekhar, employee number is 100, address is Hyderabad, effective start date is the system date, and effective end date is the future date. So after a few days, so we can assume that after a few days, Rajshekhar got transferred from Hyderabad to Mumbai. So at that time, I will insert one more record. So here basically we have only one record in the source table. So select start from EMP underscore SRC. After a few days, Rashid got transferred from Hyderabad to Mumbai. So I'm going to update this record in the source system, update table name, EMP underscore SRC, set address equal to Mumbai, where number is equal to 100. So this will update source record with Mumbai. Yes, one row is got updated. Now we can see earlier it is Hyderabad. Now we can see it as a Mumbai. So and as well as we can do the commit, and let me run this task. One rise up commit got completed, and this is my target table. So as of now we can see, and let me run here, rerun the restart the task after some changes. So this time we need to load historical information. Yes, oh, 2 records got processed. So you can see in the instances. So one record is got inserted, one record is got updated. So the same we can be able to check in the our SCD type to target table. So where we can see, so Rashekar record, so we got new record with a dimension as FI. So his new location is Mumbai. So his effective start is system date and effective end date is high end date. So Rashekar is no more working in the Hyderabad location. So we are updating this effective start date with this effective end date. So like this, we can be able to do the SCD type 2 mapping in the Informatica IICS, Informatica Intelligence Cloud Services.